This is a test. This is a test. I'm just testing right now, just to make sure things are going okay. So hold on, I'm just testing. Hold on, I'm just testing. Just testing, guys. Just want to make sure everything is working on my end. Sure, everything is working on my end. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the debut of CoderZ Tech Bytes. I am your host, Kim Matina. I am really happy to be here today to show you the platform. A little bit about me. I am from New Jersey. I am a technology teacher from New Jersey. I am also a Google certified trainer and educator, as well as I have my own podcast called The Sweet Talk. So this is something that I love to do, and I love to share with my audience and help teachers around the world use technology effectively in the classroom. But today we're going to be showcasing CoderZ. So CoderZ is a website, a web tool, really geared for STEM educators. So anyone who's teaching robotics or coding, um, in a STEM environment or classroom, this tool's for you. It uses virtual robotics, featuring the Lego EV3 Mindstorm or the Ruby robot, into a virtual environment where you can code the bot to accomplish or to do certain things within the mission. So I'm really happy to be here today. Today I'm going to be showcasing a little bit about CoderZ and how teachers can use it in the classroom, how you can use it to track student progress and manage your students accordingly. So it's really geared for teachers. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to share the agenda link with you in the YouTube chat. And you'll find some of the resources that I mentioned in here. But this is really just an agenda for me to try to stay on task of what I want to show you. And this is just one of many series that I intend to bring to the audience of CoderZ, really big for beginners and teachers, like I said. So without further ado, let's get started. All right. So today I'm going to be going over CoderZ, and I'm going to share my screen. So guys, just bear with me here because I'm by myself and I have to make sure that sharing and you can see it and everything. So just be patient with me. Okay, so let me just make sure before I begin, you can see my screen. All right. Okay, great. So this is the website that you're going to go to, and I'll put it in the chat as well. It's gocoderz.com. And this is the homepage here. And you can, go through the homepage and explore on your own. But you can certainly sign up for a free 14-day trial. All right. There's a few courses here that you can browse through, and I'm going to go over that as well. But if you click on the Learn tab, you can start a free trial today. It's a 14-day free trial, and give it a try. See if your students, respond well to it. CoderZ is geared for students in 4th grade all the way up to 12th grade. And it gives the students the opportunity to learn block-based coding in addition to Python coding. So there's differentiating available to you in there. But I just want to go over some of these courses here. So the first course is CoderZ Adventure, and it's really a novice course. It's geared for 6 to 10-year-olds, and it uses Blockly, all right, a block-based coding editor. Cyber Robotics 101 is really more for middle school. Again, it still uses the Blockly editor, but it uses a different robot, which it uses the EV3 Mindstorm. Cyber Robotics 102, again, is for middle school. It does build with Blockly, but it uses a different robot called Ruby, and it's geared more for physics. So that's a great course for that as well. And then you have maybe, high school students, or maybe, if you wanted to differentiate some of the students in middle school, you can definitely build with Python. And this is really geared for students that are that feel comfortable with coding, text-based coding, and can really, accomplish the missions on their own. Again, this is for 15 years old and up, and it uses a different robot as well. It uses the Ruby robot. So CR102 and the Python Gym use the same robot. Cyber Robotics 101 uses EV3 Mindstorms, and the Adventure one is a different robot for the youngsters. And in case you need to show, because sometimes, we're doing a lot of different things, and we may have students that are ESL. CoderZ does offer these classes or courses in different languages. So I thought that was something worthwhile to bring to your attention as well. So if you have Spanish speaking students, French, Hebrew, and English, the courses are available here in those languages. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention as well. All right, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a demo account, and I'm going to log in. All right, and when you log into CoderZ as a teacher, this is what you see, okay? This is what you see, okay? So again, this is a demo account to show, I didn't want to show real student data in here. So, Jim Henson is the teacher, and then you'll see all of the classes and test students that are in here. But when teachers sign up for CoderZ, this is your dashboard that you get, and you'll see all of the courses that were either assigned to you or maybe your school district purchased. Okay, so right in here, you'll see the courses, and you can see in each course there's a teacher guide. All right, so I'm going to show you the CR 101 course and the teacher guide. So as a teacher, I'm going to click on the guide. And in here, it's so great because it gives you a nice layout and it's nicely organized on the learning goals and what you can expect your students to learn and the outcomes. So here on the left side, I have a menu. And if I click on about the course, it gives you a nice course description of what the course is about 70 gamified missions just in this course. And it includes, teacher guides, presentations, and solutions, which I'm going to show you. So this really is a basic introduction about what the course offers. The course outline, it gives you the session format. So if I go into the session format, and here, as teachers, we really want to know what are the outcomes, what are the learning goals, and it tells you right here what the learning goals are. So each course has learning goals. It has resources. Resources can be presentations. It can be videos. It could be help articles that support that learning goal or that mission. All right. It gives you some type of pacing guide as well. Again, it gives you a presentation that goes along with the concepts being taught. So this is something that you don't have to prepare. It's something that comes with the curriculum, which is awesome. And I'll show you that as well. And their presentations. So the example here shows a Google slide deck, but obviously you can download that and put that into PowerPoint as well. It also comes with a reflection. So, you can, ask your students, you can go back and look at where your students' progresses are and see where they had problems. You can identify different, different concepts or different missions of where your students had success or challenges, and we'll discuss that as well. And it does provide tips. In each mission, there's tips that can help students move along in case they get stuck. And this is nice. It gives you a Q&A or a class conclusion. So it's kind of like a wrap up, before we move on to the next section. You can ask your students a couple questions about what they learned or exit tickets and really see, have a discussion about it. So each mission is formatted this way, which is really nice. The teacher resources, again, they give you, a presentation. They give you help articles to specific, content. Sometimes they give you videos that help support those concepts as well. So these are just basically things that go along with the lesson. Let's go to session plans. Okay, so session plans is really your lesson that you're going to introduce to your students. Okay, so in here, these are already done for you. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here. CoderZ provides you with the lesson and, like I said, the presentation. So I'm going to click on lesson 2, basic navigation. Okay, here are the learning goals. So I am going to expand that menu. And right here, it tells you, what the students should know at the end of this lesson. Okay, so this is a nice, quick way of identifying what you need to go over with your students. Okay, some of the resources here, there's a tutorial here. Here is the presentation. Okay, so I can pop that presentation out and open it up into a new tab. Okay, and here what I'm going to do is I can go through the presentation and present it to the students either, virtually or, face to face. And this is all done for you. You don't have to create it. Okay. So you can come in here and you can, show this to your students and start right away. What you can do is, let me escape out of this. Let me see something here I want to show you. Speaker notes, here we go. So you can see here that in this presentation on this slide, okay, CoderZ had provided you with the content and they're also giving you the speaker notes. So it's guiding your conversation through the speaker notes. So this is a great resource as well. You don't have to use the speaker notes to present the information. It's just there in case you need it. CoderZ is designed to be user-friendly for teachers who do not have any computer science experience. So that is why they're giving you the presentation and they're providing you with the speaker notes. And that's why they're giving you the links to the help articles or the videos, because they want teachers to use this, to present this to their students, and really align it with, everyday content. So you don't need a lot of computer science experience to use CoderZ. I want to make that very clear. So again, you have the presentation here. I'm going to go back into the CoderZ platform. So they give you the presentation, and here's some of the pacing guides. So it gives you a roundabout, timing on how long you should take on each, step of the lesson. Okay. Sometimes, we have to be flexible. This may not be true to what you need it to be, but it gives you an idea of how long you should spend. Okay, tips. We'll get to tips when we're in the Learning Center in the coding platform. There's tips that are available for students to look at if they get stuck through a mission, and I'll show you that when we get there. But they certainly provide tips for students and for teachers. Okay, so this is just one example of a lesson plan. Okay, they call it a session plan. Teachers, we call it lesson plan. So this is just one example in the course of Cyber Robotics 101. And each lesson plan contains the same thing. Okay, so keep that in mind. Again, this is lesson plan number 3, basic navigation 2, and it goes over the same format. It provides many of the same resources. And you'll see that throughout all of the courses as well. If you guys have any questions, you can post it into the chat, and I'll try to get to it at the end, okay? And, they have a frequently asked section here. You can, go through this as well. But the one thing that you should do as a teacher is go through the missions yourself before assigning it to your students, just so you have an idea of what the students are going to expect when they start. So that's just a little tip that I've learned throughout the years, is I always try to do it before I assign it, and try to get familiar with things before I send it out to the students, just so I can help them if they need help. So that's just an example of one teacher guide in this one course. I'm going to go back. And so again, this is the Learning Center. These are all the courses that are available in this demo account. And you'll see your courses listed here as well. All right. And you can see that each course has, their own teacher guide. All right. Let me make sure have everything in here. Okay, so let's go back to the course. So this is the course, and you can see in the course there's course packs. Okay, so this course pack here is called Getting Started, and there's 3 activities. So if I click on this course pack, there's 3 activities, which are missions. So it's important for you to understand that, because you're going to be able to manipulate and manage the missions for your classes as you go along. Okay, so the course has course packs, and then the course packs, within the course packs, there's missions. All right. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is up here where I'm navigating. So if I click on my courses, this brings up all of the courses that are available to me. If I click on a course, okay, I can certainly scroll through the courses here. If I wanted to switch back and forth, if I wanted to go into another course, I can do that. And then it brings up the course packs accordingly. All right, if I go back to CR 101 and I go to Basic Navigation 2, now I can go through some of the missions that are in the course CR 101. So this is a great way of navigating through the course, so you don't always have to go back to the Learning Center. So keep this in mind, because this is kind of like your roadmap, okay? All right, so now what I want to show you is inside these missions. Let me go into object detection. All right, and I'm going to go into mission 3, wait again. Okay, so this is going to be the coding platform that you would see, and your students would see this too. Okay, so it's loading. It's probably a little slow because of all the bandwidth that is going on here with the live stream. So let's refresh. Definitely need to have patience, right, with technology. So this is what I was talking about before. You as a teacher can go through the missions and complete the missions, and actually experience what the students are going to experience. And I highly recommend that you do that. So this is the coding platform, okay? And right over here on the left side, we have our blocks, okay? So if I click on, the motor blocks, they're all color coded, and I can just drag, the blocks out into the workspace here. And then this is my output area, my simulator, okay? And this course again shows the Lego EV3 Mindstorm robot. I have controls up here at the top, okay? So this is where I can play the simulation. I can download the code and use it on a physical EV3 Mindstorm if I wanted to. This is the undo and redo buttons. This is for smart blocks in case your students want to create smart blocks. Export, you can export your Blockly program and import them as well, okay? So all I do here, if I wanted to play, I just hit play, and then my robot is gonna move forward. Okay, and you can see how easy it was. Okay, now I'm just gonna hit stop. I didn't program it to do anything else. All right, one thing I do want to show you up top here, I can there's different controls here on the right side, but I can go into full screen if I wanted to. Okay, so the students can adjust their screen size. I can show the code. So if I click on the symbols there, the greater than or less than equal sign, greater than or less than sign, I can show the Python code that is driving the block coding. So this is a nice alternative for students as well. You can go into this code and really, have them look at it and explain it to you. You can also, the students can look at different sensors. This is called a heads-up display, and this gives you information of what the sensors on the robot is, what the values are on the sensors. And this is manual control, so I can actually move the robot, with my arrow keys and help troubleshoot or debug some of the code that may be difficult for the students. All right. This is trail, and then this is how fast you want your simulation to go. So that's basically the navigation for the coding platform. But as teachers, we want to be able to tell the students to work on their own a little bit. And this light bulb here shows some of the tips. So as I was saying before, in the teacher resource, you can see what tips are going to be available. But the students can click on the light bulb and actually see a tip. So hopefully it gives them a hint and try to get them past something that they're having a problem with. So that's a nice little, a little user-friendly option here. Now, what I want to show you here is, as a teacher, we have the ability to go into the mission. So if I click on this down arrow here, okay, I can restart the mission. I can go to the next activity, the previous activity, but right here, it gives you the answer key. So I can open up this solution and I can actually see the code that goes along with this mission. So now I don't have to go through and figure it out. CoderZ gives you the answer key for all of the missions. So I can actually, talk to a student and troubleshoot with a student and having the answer key right there in front of me. So this is a great feature. And believe me, I've been using it a lot with my students in Robotics Club. It's definitely something that you want to know where it is. You need to know where the answer key is or the solution is. And this menu is available in every mission. So when you click on that down arrow, you'll definitely see the open solution in every single mission that you're in. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it not being there. All right, so it gives you the solution. And now if I hit play, it's going to play, it's going to run the program. And you can see as it's going through the program, it's highlighting the block that it's executing, so the students can actually follow the code as it's running through the program. Okay, so I wanted to show you that because it's important for you to realize that there are answer keys available in the missions, and we as teachers don't need to worry about that. Okay. Let me go back to my agenda. Okay, so let me just make sure I am on track here. Okay, so we're going to go to the next tab in the CoderZ. Okay, so I'm going to go back. So this is the coding platform, and I showed you where everything was, and we went over all of the menu bar. So I'm going to go back into the My Classes tab. Okay, so we're going to go through each of these menu options here. Okay, so the My Classes tab is going to be where you can add classes. So for me, I use this in my school as my robotics club. So I added a class called Robotics Club, and I was able to invite my students to that class. So what you would have to do, again, this is a demo account. Okay, so what you would have to do here is you click up at the top and you click Add New Class. All right, and you want to create it under your heading. So this is a demo account. So I'm going to create mine under, I think it's this one. We'll see. I'm just going to call this Kim M. You can give it a description, and I hit next. Okay, and now it's asking me, okay, which course do I want to assign to this class? Now, it'll depend on what you have available, okay? This is a demo account, so I have all of these courses available in here. So I'm going to pick this course, all right? And right over here, this is what I was talking to you about before. You can open up all the packs to the students. You can open up pack by pack, or you can set it manually, or you can do mission, or you can set it manually. So this is where you can control the pace of the class. So you may have students that are going to work on this at home, and they're going to finish the course really quickly. And then you may have students that just work on it in school, or during your class period. So you can control the pace of the class or the course here by just opening up by pack. Okay. So if I click next here, this is going to be the information that I can share with my students. Okay, so I need to get my students into this class. So all I do here is copy the link. Now, if you're using Google Classroom, you can copy the link here and paste it into Google Classroom. Or if you're using a different type of classroom management for your kids, you can, Seesaw or something like that, you can paste the link in there. You can also invite your students via email, all right? But the students have to join the class one time, and that's it. After they join the class, then they log into CoderZ. So you just copy this link, and then you can paste it into, I would paste it into Google Classroom. Okay, and you can see here, here's my class, Kim M, and then in that class, it would show the students that joined. Okay, so let me go back into the Muppet Show. And in here, you can see I have my course, and I have my mission, my pack, and then within the pack, I have 3 missions, okay? And you can see here that in my class, I have all of these students, in my class. They were invited to join my class. And you can see here, this is called a heat map. You can see here that the Swedish Chef and Fozzie Bear completed the 3 missions without any problem, okay, because they're green. Let's go into the next pack. Let's see. Okay, so this heat map here looks a little bit more different, okay? So in the basic navigation pack, and in the basic navigation pack, I have 9 missions, okay? And all of these students are working on or completed the 9 missions, but now my heat map looks a little different, okay? So this is where you're gonna be able to track progress through the course, okay? So I'll get to that in a minute. I still want to be able to show you a little bit more about the class. So we'll get back to the heat maps in a minute, but just keep this in the back of your mind. Yes, so right up top here, I can switch my classes. So you may have multiple classes that you are using CoderZ for. All right, so you can switch back and forth through this drop down here. Over here on the right side, if I click the 3 dots, you're going to get to class settings. And this is going to be where you can rename the class and give it a different description if you need to. if I click the three dots again, I go to course settings. This is where I can adjust the pacing of the course. So when I created the class and added the course initially, it came up to this, but I can always go back into the course settings and readjust my pacing. So if I wanted to do set by set or manual, or even open up all the packs at once, I can do that. Okay, so I clicked manual, and now just say I want to keep the first two packs open, and I hit save. Okay, so I can control the pace by going into the course settings. Let me go back into the three dot menu. I'm going to change that. You want to open them all up for this demo. Okay, and if you ever need to go back in and invite students, you click the three dot menu, you click invite students, and again, here is your link. Okay, you can copy the link. All right, there's a class code here that your students can join. They just type in the class code when they go and they log in, or I can invite students via email address. So that is available to you through the three dot menu. All right, and you may be wondering what this score here is, this 100. Excuse me. This is your class average. Okay, so it gives you a score of your class average, and then you can, it gives you an individual score for your students as well, so that you can, you can use those analytics to try to see if any of your students are having any difficulty with the missions. All right. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that I am on target. Okay, so now we're going to go over the heat map. Okay. Okay, so let me scroll down here to the heat map. All right, let me get to. Okay, so here's a heat map here. And what I want to do is I'm actually going to show you the help article here. So when you look at the heat map, okay, the heat map is going to give you the status of how well the students did on a mission, okay, and it's color coded. So you have, you have green, yellow, and red, okay, and then you have gray, or they may be blank, okay, and each color represents something. So in this help article here, and this help article is in the Wakelet collection, you can look at the heat map and determine if a student's having a problem or a group of students are having a problem, okay? So right here, if I look at the heat map legend, okay, the green boxes tell me that the student completed that mission, all right, and their score was greater than or equal to the class average, okay? So the yellow box means that they completed the mission, but their score was less than the class average. So they're having a little bit, maybe they had a little problem with some of the logic in there. All right, the red mission, the red box means that they didn't complete it. Okay, so that means that they need to revisit that concept and maybe get some support on those concepts in that mission. The gray box means it was skipped, so they didn't even like attempt it. And the white means that they never even opened the mission. So this heat map will give you a lot of analytics on how well your students did in the mission. Okay, so when I go back and look at this heat map now, I can see here that Miss Piggy skipped this roundabout left mission, all right, and then she never really opened up the last three missions. Okay, so this is a nice way to see, if my students had issues. So now if I go through, let's see if I find in another pack, let's see. Okay, well, I'm not going to be able to find it. What I wanted to show you was I can take this heat map and actually look and see if there were any common problems that the students had within the mission. And then me as a teacher, I can go back and reteach that concept. Okay, so maybe here on the roundabout left, I can see, 3 people really, one didn't do well at it, two missed it or skipped it. So maybe this is a concept here that I need to reteach because 3 students had some kind of difficulty with it. All right, so you can look at these heat maps here and really go back and reteach. And it's a reflection on what you need to do. Maybe you need to change it up a little bit and change the way you teach that concept. So when you click on a heat map, I want to show you again. If I click on this, it gives me details here. Okay, so it tells me which mission it was. It tells me how much time the student spent on it, and it tells me the attempt, how many attempts that student, how many attempts it took that student to complete it. If I click on the red one, okay, they didn't get any success with this. Okay, so if I click on a yellow one, here, this one's a better example. It tells me here that this student took about 2 minutes and attempted it 3 times. All right, and they're in the yellow because they got a score that was less than the class average. Okay, so this might be something that you can help the student with this concept. So the heat maps are great as a reference. Let me go back to my agenda. Okay, so we're still managing our class. Okay, so if by some chance a student, I don't know, moves out of the district and you need to free up their license so that you can give their license to another student, you can certainly do that by deactivating them. So I go into the class and I go into the mission. I want to go into the class and I want to click on the student. All right, and once I click on the student, I can click on the 3 dots here and I can deactivate that student. And that way it takes their license and it puts it back into the pool where it becomes available for you to distribute to another student. So keep that in mind when you need to do a little housekeeping. You can certainly deactivate students and free up licenses. And you can also reset their password in here as well. But you have to make sure that you are in that particular student. Okay, it doesn't matter which pack you're in as long as you're in that student's profile. All right. Okay, we're going to go into the next spot, which is my projects. Now, I recently discovered my projects. I didn't know what it was until I was speaking to somebody through the CoderZ company. I knew it was there, but I really didn't explore it until I had one student in my robotics club who really excelled through a lot of the missions, and she was really one of the first ones done with a lot of the missions. So I needed to give her a project that was a little bit more challenging, and this is where you can do that. So it's really, my projects is an area where you can you can give students more challenging missions, but you create them. They're not done for you through CoderZ. So you have to know what you want your students to accomplish, and then you need to have some type of answer key prepared. So that's another thing that you would have to, you would have to work on. You would have to code it. You would have to test it and make sure that it works before you assign it to your students. So this is a great way to differentiate for the students that are excelling and you want to challenge them a little bit. You can go into My Projects. You can hit Start a New Project. You can give it a name. And here you can pick the robot. So you can pick the EV3 Mindstorm or the Ruby bot. You can pick block-based coding or Java coding. Okay, so this is a great option here to offer to your students. So I'm going to click blocks. All right, and the scene. So you can pick a different scene for your students. You can pick an open scene, open space. Basically, it's just a wide open area where you would have to tell your students to do something. You have a parking lot. There's 3 different parking lots, or the balloon challenge. So you can pick any one of these scenes. And if I hit begin coding, all right, it brings up the coding interface here, and you'll see in the simulation the scene will show up. Okay, and here's the robot. So I have to make this robot go over the line. So it's going to use the sensor to detect the line, and then it's going to pop the balloon at the end. So, this will definitely, and you can see if I, pan out, you can see the scene, how it is. All right, this is a balloon scene. If I go back into the projects again, and I hit new project, I think there's a way to check the scenes before you make a project, but I am not sure where that is. Like I said, I'm new to the projects area as well. So if I pan out of the simulation, you can see that it's really free reign for students to create or to complete, a task here. So this is what the parking lot space looks like. So this is a nice area where you can offer some type of differentiation or extra credit for the students through the My Projects. And like I said, I thought there was something in here that lets you look at the scenes before assigning a project, but I would have to get back to you on that. I'm not really sure where it is. Okay, so we're going to go to the scoreboard next. So if I click on the scoreboard actually gives you, okay, so look where it is. It took me back to the other course. So I need to go into Cyber Robotics 101, okay, and I need to go into a different pack. All right, click on the course, the class name. Okay, so here in the scoreboard, okay, you as a teacher see the scoreboard. The kids, they can't see each other's score. They only see their score. Their names are really blocked out. So they see a scoreboard, but they don't know who's who in the scoreboard. In the teacher scoreboard, you see who's ranked first and last. You can sort these by, if you click on the column header, you can sort them out. I can sort them by rank. Okay, so here I can see the Swedish chef has a score of 1,200, completed 12 missions, and his average attempt is 6.1. So you can really go through this and see, who's really successful and who's really struggling. Okay, so this is just another area of, tracking student progress as well. All right, the knowledge base, the last icon here is the knowledge base. And you need to let your kids know, hey, there's help here. If you need help, go to the knowledge base and search for the topic, okay? Because there are a lot of great articles in here that can help students and yourself with, something that you're stuck on. So let's just see here. If I click on heat maps, if I type heat maps in here, it's going to give me, the results of the heat map. And if I click on student progress report, okay, this is what's going to come up. maybe a student honestly wouldn't look at this, but for a teacher, you can. If students wanted to, maybe if they go into heads up display, where it gives you the value of the sensors. Okay, this may be something that they can look up and relate to. Okay, so if they go into the knowledge base and just search for something that they're stuck on or they need help with, the information is here. Okay, so this is something that I know a lot of kids in my robotics club, they use the heads up display, and they find that um, the values that are in the sensors here are very helpful when they're writing the code to complete the mission. Okay. Um, so I wanted to just show you that too, because we forget about that's here, but we need to remind ourselves that this is a resource available for us and for the students. Um, so the knowledge base is there. Um, let's just see. I went through the scoreboard. Just want to make sure I did everything here. Okay, and in my agenda here, I have a few help articles that I referred to during the presentation, but you can certainly go through it here. I did show you the heat maps and the My Projects. There's a help article here that gives you more information about how you can use projects with your students. Okay, so it's a great resource. The Scoreboard help article is here as well. You can learn more about the Scoreboard through the help article. And I also put in here the code editor. This would be helpful for students to know, this is something that you should definitely give your students, and this should be something that you include in like your resource area for your club or for your class, so that students know that part of this coding platform, it's broken down into different sections. Okay, so this is something that they should definitely be aware of. The simulation pane, again, that's where the output is. All right, and they definitely need to know that. So this would be another great help article to keep in your resource section of your class. And also the heads up display too, I would recommend. Because again, they need to know what the values of these sensors are during some of the the missions. I hope that's. I mean, I went through a lot. I know I said originally it would be 15 minutes, but after making my agenda, I'm like, oh no, this is not going to be 15 minutes. It's going to be more like 45 minutes, maybe closer to an hour. And I was right. So I can continue to talk more, but I don't want to overload everybody. This is a lot all at one time. So I will continue to make more Tech Byte sessions for CoderZ. This is just the first one. If anybody has any questions or any ideas of what they'd like to see the next time, please let me know. What I want to do really fast is I'm going to share the Facebook group link in the YouTube comments. If anybody's watching and is not part of the Facebook group, please join the Facebook group. If anybody is watching it live, leave some of your feedback in the group. I will create a thread in the group so that it's organized. I'd like to hear some of your feedback. I'd like to know if I missed something or if you'd like to know something else. I'd like to really hear from you. I'm trying to build a community here for CoderZ and get people more exposed to the platform. I'm using it with my robotics club. I'm using the CR 101 course, and that's what I'm familiar with. But there's a lot of content in here. So if you're using a different course, Please share your experience so that other people in the community can learn from you as well. I would really appreciate it. But again, if there's something that you're looking for, please put it into the Facebook group. Kelly, I will find out how much it costs per student. I don't know that question. The only thing that I can tell you is email them what you would like, what your need is, and then they can get back to you. They're pretty fast with giving you a quote. They respond to you very quickly. So um, just, tell them what course you want, how many kids are going to be using it, and then um, they'll give you the information. Keep in mind also that CoderZ offers free courses for Title I schools. So if you go to their website, I can show you that really fast. Let me go in and share my screen. So let me go back to CoderZ. So if I go to the CoderZ website, and I click Learn, right here, okay, there's a free trial. First, you can click on the free trial, and you can get a free trial for 14 days. Okay, so I would highly recommend filling this form out and checking out the free trial as well. There is also an area, and I bookmarked it, so I'll put this in the chat as well, that maybe this is it. Hold on a second. There is an area in here for Title I schools. So if you are a Title I school, you can, where is it? Okay, I think this might be it. Here it is. So if you're a Title I school, you can get free access to the Amazon Cyber Robotics Challenge. And what I'm going to do here is put this in the chat. And if you don't see your school listed in here, then apply anyway. And like here, if you don't see your school eligible for the Title I grant, just fill it out and send it to them anyway, because most likely they will give you access to the Amazon Cyber Robotics Challenge. And actually, like, that's how I got started with CoderZ. Was I started with the Cyber Robotics Challenge like 3 years ago, and I used it with my robotics club. And then the following year, I did it with my whole school. And then this year, I'm doing it now with my robotics club, but we didn't make the Cyber Robotics Challenge. My club didn't start in time, so we are actually using the curriculum instead. So, this is something that I got a lot of good feedback from the students, from the teachers that were motivated to participate with the challenge at the time. And actually, my school did qualify. I had, I'm in 7th and 8th grade. I teach 7th and 8th grade STEM, and I had my class, my school actually, it was the top 4 kids. We qualified to go to the next round. So I was gonna, the top 4 kids actually did the best out of the whole school, but we couldn't make it to the next round. I couldn't get transportation to travel up North Jersey. So we had to skip it, but we were eligible to move on. So it was really exciting to see the kids help each other and collaborate with each other about the competition. And I gave them all like swag and a t-shirt and certificates and stuff like that, because they were the top 4 out of the whole school that did the best. So I was really proud of them. But that's how I started with CoderZ. And I really like it. So I'm just trying to make it be more aware for teachers so that, we can get more teachers on board with teaching computer science and stuff. So if you guys have any questions, I'll start a Facebook thread in the group. Please leave your feedback. And I'm really glad that, you were here watching live. The recording will be available as well on my YouTube channel. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. Bye.